All right, Gator fans. Um, Sitting here probably dejected like the rest of you, watching Georgia and Auburn play a 17-17 ball game with a brand new coach for Auburn being competitive. You love to see it. Billy in his second year can't win a game on the road to save his life. Florida comes out completely flat on offense and defense. The defense, I think, is probably even more disappointing. We already knew Billy sucks as a play caller. We've already known the offense is trash. It's been trash since he got hired here. This is why. So I basically tried to wish it into reality, Florida being good and beating Kentucky on the road. I was trying to do the opposite of what I've been doing, but regardless, I will not be picking Florida to win a game again this year. There is no one on the schedule to me that Florida inspires any faith. Billy mainly just because the offense of play calling and scheme is so bad. There's a play where Pearsall went into motion and some of the message board had already called the run play for 2 yards before it even happened. I mean, it is bad, guys. And I think this is as low as Florida's going to get. I'm changing my expectations back down to the floor again. If Florida had even been competitive with Kentucky, I think I'm singing a different tune because I think Kentucky's a good program. This isn't the old Kentucky. I mean, this is 3 years straight they've beaten Florida. Florida has just been relegated to a expected 7-win team at best most years now. I mean, it's just Florida's a dumpster fire. The UAA, the Athletic Association, does not care about winning football games or hiring the best coaches. Strickland, his track record's terrible. They need to hold the feet to the fire like they did with Dan Mullen, with him firing his coaches, but not wait till it's year 4. They need to have a heart to heart with Billy, basically, and just tell him like things have got to change. You can't wait till year 3 and 4 to make a change at offensive coordinator. Austin Armstrong is a young guy. I'm not jumping off the Austin Armstrong train. The defense did play better in the second half. Yes, they got gashed. But heck, I mean, you can't blame it all on them. They're bound to have one bad game. So this was their gimme game for me. I do think they'll play better later in the season, but Florida just got bullied on both sides of the ball. We look soft. I mean, our guys are huge. We have size. They're lifting and have similar maxes to any other college player in college football. I mean, these guys are all big, fast, and strong. It's not a strength thing for me. And if it is, that's a problem. But, Billy's teams were physical at Louisiana, so I don't think that Florida's just not a physical team. Or I don't think that it's a strength thing, but we are not physical. Florida's had to find answers in the portal, and it just seems that those guys have not really lived up to expectations. Um, Against better competition, some of the portal players, I think we missed on some guys that have been difference makers at some of the other schools they've gone to. I think we've hit on a few of them. Um, but Florida just, again, comes out flat, doesn't look motivated. I know Austin Armstrong's a high energy guy, so it can't be that. I think it's just Billy, his demeanor. He doesn't have the passion or fire. His press conferences are flat. Billy's press conference, he sounds like Will Muschamp talking about, we're going to get it fixed. We just got beat. We got out physical. This is not an execution thing. This is a game plan. This is a football philosophy problem with Billy Napier. It's not just execution, although that is an issue that just compounds the problem. But Mertz goes 244. Those are little gimme intermediate throws. Stats are for losers. I'm sorry. Two touchdowns, another interception. And I think we're really going to find out if by the bye week, if Billy has what it takes to make the tough decision. I think he needs to do it in season in order to keep this recruiting class together. He needs to give Russ Callaway or somebody the play calling duties. I mean, we're at a point right now where we could very realistically start losing commitments in this class, and they could start jumping ship. I know Waller and Amir, the tight end, they're at the Auburn game this weekend. They're starting to look around and visit other schools, guys, and they are good players. And these other schools are not going to quit recruiting them, and Florida is going to start getting heavily negative recruited against with these games. And the record for Florida away from the swamp is abysmal. Um, he does not have these guys ready to play on the road, which is completely unacceptable. There's enough talent on this team. Florida should not be in the shape it is as a program right now. There's enough talent to be beating teams that, if you guys look at the recruiting rankings, do y'all realize the gap between Kentucky and Florida? That is unacceptable that Florida is that bad against Kentucky. It's just so unacceptable. And then O'Leary was a guy that Florida didn't go after hard and ended up with Graham Mertz over O'Leary. I would have taken O'Leary all day just based on talent. Graham Mertz is just an average quarterback still, in my opinion. Yes, he's outplayed expectations. But again, another pick in a big-time game today, a pick against Utah. Not all those are his fault completely. He got hit, beat up. He's a tough kid. But again, just average. Not somebody who's going to make an impact on the game. He's not elusive. He took too many sacks. He doesn't know how to throw the ball away or feel pressure. And that's a big issue for Florida. We are not a team that can play from behind the chains. Heck, we can't even play when it's 3rd and 5. We were, I think, we were like 4 of 13 or something like that on 3rd down today. It was abysmal. I didn't even watch the whole game today because I was that. I wanted Florida to win. I had to coach my kids' flag football game. But once I saw the halftime report, I just hung it up. I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm only going to watch half this game. It's just that bad right now for me watching Florida. It's not exciting. I know y'all probably feel the same way. So some changes that I think we could make, stop running bunch sets. Forget the tight end besides anything more than a blocker in this offense. We don't have talented tight ends. Let's spread the ball out. Put these receivers out wide, make them defend sideline to sideline. One other thing, ETN needs the ball. The majority of these carries, sickening again today. The carry distribution again with Montrell Johnson. That's another boneheaded decision by Billy Napier. And I think he may start to lose this team at some point. If he doesn't beat Vanderbilt next week, I think he loses this team and guys lose faith in Billy and start speaking up or quitting on the team altogether. It's going to happen really fast in today's era in college football. So buckle up and get ready because this could be a really brutal season at this point. I mean, 3 wins. Kentucky was a very winnable game. It was one of those ones that was a must-win to get to that 8-win mark. 8 wins is out of the question at this point. South Carolina played Georgia tough. We got lucky. We blew them out last year. At this point, I could see South Carolina beating us. I don't think there's a team on the schedule that can't beat this Florida team, even Vanderbilt. We lost to them last year. This isn't, this is a competitive Vanderbilt team. So we'll see what happens, guys. But, again, I'm going to be honest right now. I'm not picking Florida next week. I take that back. I'm going to pick Florida against Vanderbilt because it is Vanderbilt. It is in the swamp, and we do seem to be able to somehow find a way to win at home right now. We do play better in the swamp. The crowd's going to be a factor. So I think it's an ugly game, a very uninspiring game that doesn't make anybody feel any better, but it'd be nice to just get a W against the SEC team that we did lose to last year. So that'll be good, but I think you're looking at like a 17-13 type game. Of course, Vandy can score, so heck, Florida might have to win a close one, but I do think Vanderbilt will put up some points on Florida. I do. I think that you're looking at probably a 29-17, something like that. I think we can get to that 30 mark like we did against Tennessee, especially at home. I do think we're more physical and a lot more talented than Vanderbilt, but it's going to be a tough one, guys. We'll do some more breakdown on that later in the week, but I just want to give y'all my instant reaction. Billy doesn't have any answers for this team. He spits it out every time. We're going to get it right, get it fixed in the press conference. I still believe in Austin Armstrong. Hopefully Ben Sass, the president of UF, is able to, also hold people accountable for sports at Florida because that is also part of his job. And presidents can step in. So if things do get too out of hand and this is a 3-win Florida team, between him and Strickland, hopefully somebody says, okay, that's enough, because literally there is potential for this to be a 4 4 or 5 win Florida team, because Kentucky, yes, they're 4-0 or 5-0. Very good football team, better than I thought. I gave them credit for. That was a good, talented, they've hit the explosive plays all year. Their biggest issue is just consistency. So that team's firing on all cylinders right now. They look good today. Gashed Florida on the ground for 200 something yards, which was unbelievable. Florida's actually been really good against the run. So that top 5 ranking and number 1 in the SEC is that's gone. That's not going to be around much longer. So hopefully this defense can get some respect back, put some respect back on Florida's name. But rough day to be a Gator. Hopefully next week things turn out better. Go Gators.